Hey everybody, it's Tamika. I wanted to share with you this quick silhouette cameo tutorial. A friend of mine has sent me an envelope and it was stitched in her 3x3 note cards, and I really fell in love with that stitched envelope, and I asked her where she got it from, and it was a die, and I went over to the website to see how much the die cost, and I just couldn't do it. It was just too much for a stitched envelope die for me. So I set out on a quest to try to figure out to do it on the Cameo, and I think I have it. So I have created a tutorial for you, but really quick I wanted to share with you the results. This is a top note shape that I cut from the Cameo, and this is cut out of some lightweight cardstock, and as you can see, if I can hold my camera still here, you'll be able to see those stitch lines around it. So these are not the faux stitch lines, these are the real stitch lines. And then I also did one in a deeper cut with wider lines. And then I also did, to wrap it up, let me zoom back out, an envelope. I didn't put it together because I just was my test envelope, but look at the stitch lines. Of course I would want to back up a little bit from the edge, but it's done. There it is. There's the stitch. So stay tuned for the tutorial. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them below. Thanks guys for watching. I'm going to start with a clean 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper in the Silhouette Studio Cameo version 3. I'm going to go to my library and I'm going to pick an image. In this case I'm going to do hearts. So I don't need all of these hearts, so I am going to delete the ones that I'm not going to use. So I'm going to grab these and delete them really quick here. And I'm just going to use that heart that's up at the top. And I'm going to resize it to the dimension that I'd like. I'm just going to pick a random dimension. I'll just leave it there. Okay, and I'm going to use cardstock. So what I want to do is come over to the right hand corner and get to my to send to Silhouette. So what I want to do first is cut this heart out, and I'm using 120-pound weight cardstock. So I'm going to go to my cut settings, and I'm going to pick heavy cardstock. That's 105 to 122. Pay attention to your blade being at 6, so if you need to change that to 6, and I always take off my double cut because I don't need it. And so I would now send that to, although I've cut this out already, I'm just showing you, so it's not going to do it, but what I want you to do is send to Silhouette. So that's going to key up, and I would press start, but I've already done it. So at this point, leave the mat where it is. Don't unload it. Just leave it exactly where it is. Don't touch it. Don't breathe on it. Then go back to your image and click it. You want to go to the cut settings again, where the little knife is, and you want to press no cut. Then you want to keep that highlighted. Don't even touch that on the left hand side. Go over to the offset button and then press internal offset. And you want to, wherever you want your stitching to be is where you want this offset. How thick you want it is where you want to change it. So if you want it to be a little bit lower, you will come over here to this little arrow and go down or go up if you want it thin or thicker. So I'm going to move it up just a little bit so I can see the stitch lines. So it's a bit away from the edge. I'm just going to click it to about right there. Okay, and that's going to be at about 60. So I am going to hit apply. Okay, that's done. Now while it's still highlighted, so you know you have the right part of the heart, I'm going to go to the line window up here in the right hand corner, and then that's going to take me to some dashes. Now depending on which dashes you want is where you want to pick it over here. I am going to select it, these, because they were super cute. And I keep my line thickness at 0. You can vary and play around with these as much as you want, but just to keep it simple, I get my line thickness at 0. And then I want to keep that highlighted. Go over to the cut style window again, cut settings, and then I want to cut edge. So you see that made the whatever's cut is going to cut is highlighted in red. See, the outside of the heart is not highlighted because we've already cut that, and it's still at the place where we want it to be. So now we're going to cut the inside, cut edge, and then we're going to change our settings. Now again, depending on which one you want, if you want thick lines, of course you change that, and if you want to just leave it simple stitched, I find it better for me that the blade is on 2, and to get 2, there's a lot of options where you can get 2, but vinyl will cut it at 2. So you want this blade to appear at 2. So you don't want to double cut, you don't want to do anything, but what you want to do not unload your paper, but you want to change your blade to 2 physically on your Cameo, and don't move your paper, and then just press send to silhouette, and that's going to cut out just those perforated marks. The cool thing about it is it's not going to cut all the way through the paper because you still have your heavyweight cardstock in it, and it's just going to make those stitch lines that we like. So once it's all done, you can you'll be able to see that your paper has those cute little stitching marks. Now really quick, just to show you, you will do everything the same. How I made that big perforated heart with the bigger lines. I just took this particular, the inside. I like to grab it because make sure I got the right one. So grab the inside where the perforated marks are, go back to the line window, and I pressed the larger lines, and then I also increased my line thickness. Now you don't want to use the arrow. You probably want to use, you don't want to move it over with your arrow personally. You just want to click up the little check marks over here, and then that will get you your thicker windows. I use 1.4, I believe, and that's how I got that line style. Don't do anything else. After that, you go right over to your silhouette to send it, and then you press start. Now this is of course after you've already cut out the initial, that base heart. Okay, really quickly I'll show you another file that I did, and that was that top note. So I think that's in nested. So I just took this top note here, and then I ungrouped them. I don't know what that was, sorry about that. Highlight all the rest of this and delete it. I don't know how to, I'm not working out very well to group them all together and delete, but that works. So I take my shape, that just disappeared. Okay, where did the shape go? There it is. So I take my shape and I do the same thing. Send this to the silhouette. First want to go to my cut settings. Then I want to cut it in, of course, whatever paper you're using. I always, like I said, like to use the heavy cardstock, which is right here. That'll guide me to change my blade to 6. Make sure it's on single cut. Then I want to send it to silhouette. Of course, I don't want to do that because I've already cut it. And then after I've done that, I want to go to the offset button, and then I'm going to click an internal, click my shape, then click internal offset, and then depending on how thick I want my line or how low I want my line, my stitch lines to be. So I'll leave that right about there. I'll press apply. And since that's already highlighted, I'm going to go to the line window again. I'm going to use small lines. Actually, I'll use this one. And go over to the cut style. I'm going to highlight, I'm going to highlight cut. That's already cut. But I forgot to grab this part of the window. I don't want to cut that. So now you can go backwards, but now I'm just going to highlight everything and make sure I got it lined up both of them. So in this case, I'm going to align it and center it. Align, center, align, middle. There we go. Now we're back where we started from. And let me just make sure I have what I need to be cut out. And that's just by clicking this triangle over here. Shows you your cut lines. That's no cut lines. And that shows you what's going to be cut. Okay, so as you can see, only that's being cut. I'll just put that back. And then you want to go over to your settings. I'm just going to go with vinyl. And it's set at 2. And that's it. If you want, a side note, if you want a deeper cut, then of course you find something else that goes a little deeper. I've tried it at 4, and that was using, let me try to find out. It was the double-sided sticker paper, I think, this one. And I used that at 4 with that heart with the thicker cut lines, and that's how that cut out. So it can perforate just a little bit deeper than the 2. So hopefully this, guys, was helpful to you. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them below. Sorry about my voice. I'm losing it, and I just wanted to get this tutorial done so you guys can try this at home. Thanks, guys, so much for watching.